What's up, y'all? Terrell Friday here with FutureDDS.
Tyler Brown here with FutureDDS.
And today we're talking about this crazy gauntlet of tests we have before we head into spring break. Let's go.
Alright everyone, so if this is your first time visiting the channel, we are here to help you get into dental school while we give you a glimpse of our dental school experience. We have tips on DAT, admissions, applications.
Yeah, showing us your prep, showing you our preps and everything you think of.
Everything. So make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button below, as well as the little bell next to the subscribe button so that you can get alerted whenever we post something new.
So last week I was really going through the schedule for the rest of the month, and I realized I was counting all the tests we had. We really have tests back to back to back to back to back. Something crazy like that.
What's even crazier, it's every class we have a test. And on top of that, we're starting a new class, and then a week later, having another test for that. So it's a lot.
Paper to write. Then we have to do a group project where we have to do a mock interview of a new patient, basically. And then on top of that, we probably have our hardest competency we've had so far.
No, it's definitely a lot, but I mean, a lot of you all are in undergrad or even some in high school, so you know how finals week is, but think of that like on steroids, whereas you might have, you might have your finals weeks over like 2 weeks, but think about, we have like, what, 5 or 6 classes and everything's condensed as well as projects into 1 week. Yeah. So it's a lot. But the funny thing is, you'll still hear people, in the library talking about their spring break plans, still getting things like together before they leave.
Make sure the glasses are right shades, you know what I mean? Swimsuits, everything.
Exactly. So I think a lot of people we're all tired, but we're all excited for the break coming up.
Yeah, we see a little light at the end of the tunnel so far. So the big thing is just not to get caught loafing right now. Like, I'm not trying to get caught asleep or just forgetting one thing because I'm too focused on the one thing, or really just looking ahead to spring break. Like, that's something you're not trying to get caught up in, honestly.
You can't get caught up in it. You really can't. But then again, I mean, thinking about it does help me at least.
It's like motivation.
Exactly, to keep going because it's gloomy. Like, y'all can't even see outside right now, but it's dark skies. But no, honestly,
feel like Big Sean.
Right? So right now we're finishing our second major class of the semester, that being tissue injury. If you all follow us on Instagram, which you should plug _ FutureDDS. If you all do follow us, you kind of see that me and Terrell always post little videos like the day of the test or right after the test, and you'll know that this is test number 5.
Yeah. And
what's really weird about this is, like, granted, yeah, this major class has 5 tests, where our next class, which is neuroscience, we only have 2 tests.
Yeah,
so it's weird. Everything's scrambled up, but I mean,
yeah, it's really important that we finish up strong. Just knocking out this second class of the semester. This is really the biggest course. It's weighted the most, so it's kind of like the clinical anatomy was first semester. Whereas, that was worth 4 credits, so maybe I might lean towards that over biochem or a nutrition course. But now we have the tissue injury, which is 3 credits, and everything else is like 2 or 1 credit. And it's way less than anatomy because it doesn't have a lab, but it's still a lot of information. And of course, the new system, the new integrated system is something that we had to get adjusted to. So it has its pros and cons to both sides, but just finishing strong, knocking it out, and heading into spring break in neuroanatomy really good, so neuroscience. So
the biggest thing for me is really just staying on top of all the small projects. I mean, like you all know, I like to really schedule everything out as far as like my weekly schedule before the week begins, just so I know what's going on. And it's like when I'm looking at everything I have to do, it's kind of overwhelming. But I mean, when you're prepared, things always work out. So I'm just really trying to make sure that, okay, on Wednesday I study an hour for this test. On Wednesday I'm also going to study an hour for this, and then I'm going to work on this project to do this. On top of all those things, and then our extracurriculars, i.e. the vlog, everything else that we do.
Everything in life.
Everything, life is life.
Yeah, family, I mean, anything, just still gotta eat, still gotta live, still gotta, live a normal life to a certain extent. So, just filling those little gaps. Biggest thing for me is just getting in the lab. We had a few snow days and stuff, so it's been kind of hard just getting in the lab. A few classes have been canceled, so just make sure I get in there, make sure my hand skills are good. Like, that's one thing take home I really want to take out of just all the time and all this time we actually have designated for the lab right now is getting there and really feeling proficient and feeling comfortable with those hand skills. So, you know, we got our hardest count coming up. Like I said, it's a 14, which is it's a maxillary molar on the left side. But really, you're really looking at the mirror the entire time, and that's what indirect vision is. Indirect vision or indirect prep is when you're basically looking at the prep through a mirror or indirectly. And you kind of gotta like get used to it because it's opposite of what you expect or how you expect the instrument to move once you're actually looking through the mirror. So I mean, it's something to get used to. We've done it with the number 9 with the chip tooth competency that we had. That competency was a composite restoration of the chip tooth, the MIFL.
We had to look at the lingual.
Yeah. So looking at the lingual, we had to kind of practice it, but it wasn't as intense as it is now. You know, the motion was a little bit more simple, and it didn't really have as much of an impact on the tooth if you weren't as comfortable with it. But now, since you're actually using a drill and cutting the tooth, like if you mess up, you'll cut the wrong way on the tooth, you'll cut across the cusp on the tooth, like you'll hit the tooth beside it, like there's so many little things where like you can mess up and you're really just trying to get comfortable with it. You know, it's not necessarily your skills, but just something you're not used to. So that's really what I'm worried about the most.
So just to like touch on the project that I was talking about a little bit earlier, one of the projects we have to do is a reflection paper. And throughout the entire semester, we've had to go out and do little things related to dentistry, whereas it could be, you know, community service, or it could be going to a dental conference or things like that. And what we're doing in this paper is really just reflecting on that, you know, talking about how we feel like it will make us become a better dentist and little things like that. Another project that we have to do, which Terrell spoke on earlier, was on this video. We have to, it's like a small group project. And we're basically making a video on patient interaction. Yeah. And it's funny because a lot of the time students will really, you know, not complain, but, you know, be a little bit more stressed out because we have, you know, we're taking 5 tests, whatever it may be, and we have to do all of this within the same week. But if you look at it, you know, in the glass half full type of way, you know, this is the stuff that really matters, you know, the patient interaction, like that's what's gonna make you, you know, a top-notch dentist. You know, hand skill is great, but if you cannot communicate to people and show them or explain to them what's happening and make them feel comfortable, then you won't succeed as a dentist.
Yeah, I mean, really, our whole second half of school is nothing but dealing with patients. And I mean, yeah, you have to put the handwork into application. You have to know how to do it. You have to know what you're doing so you don't hurt the patient, but more importantly, you have to make the patient feel comfortable with you. And, you know, at the end of the day, you have to make sure that they know and they feel comfortable that you're taking care of them the right way and make sure that you're taking care of what their needs are and not just doing it for, you know, a grade or doing it for, you know, just because you're in school or you feel like you're obligated to do it, really because you're there to help them. And you portrayed that to them. You've kind of made them feel comfortable, you know, and you kind of can relay that message to them personally. Be personable, really.
Don't ever think that that is not a skill.
Oh, man.
You know, being personable is something that, you know, as we age, you know, there's certain things that I would used to say to people that as, you know, now that I'm seeing myself in this new professional manner or whatever it may be, you know, I just understand that, like, hey, these communication skills, some things that I used to say or I used to do, I can't do that anymore. Yeah. And, you know, and you have to keep practicing and that keeps building. So don't ever think that, you know, oh, I can just go and talk to a patient, that's easy. Like, no, it's not. Like, you really do have to put in the effort to learn how to do it effectively. But with all of that being said, like we said earlier, spring break is almost
around the corner. Let's
go. You know, we're super excited. A group of our friends and us are going to Barcelona. So it's going to be a great trip. Hey, if you all have any crazy spring break plans, let us know in the comments. You know?
Any experience if you already been on spring break, something like that. Yeah, let us know. Definitely.
We would love to know what you all are doing because we're gonna be having fun, and we hope that you are too. So you know, we care here at FutureDDS.
So that's gonna wrap up the video. Please wish us the best going into this little gauntlet we have going on. Got a lot of tests, got a lot of assignments coming up, so we're definitely gonna need all the luck we can get, all the sleep we can get, all the good vibes, all that good stuff. So if you have any questions or comments, definitely go down and comment below, like Tyler said, if you have any spring break comments. If you have anything more personal or anything more personal to you, any more deep questions, you can hit us up on Instagram at _FutureDDS. Just send them a message there and we'll get back to you as soon as we can, all right? So thank you guys again. See you next week.
All right, y'all.